Day 5 of testimonies in the Diddy trial just ended, and the names of celebrities allegedly involved with Diddy are being revealed. Jurors were handed a list of A-listers expected to be mentioned during the trial, and one of Diddy's former bodyguards has come forward, claiming that Diddy paid him to stay quiet about the entire situation. This suggests that Diddy wasn't working alone. There was an entire network of abusers allegedly helping him cover up his crimes. Here's why Michael B., Jordan, Kanye West, and more celebrities were name-dropped at Sean Diddy Combs' trial. As jury selection in the mogul's sex trafficking trial got underway on May 5th in New York, NBC News reported that prospective jurors were shown a list of more than 100 names of people and places that may be referenced during the proceedings. Among the names were actors Michael B., Jordan, Mike Myers, and rapper Kanye West. While the aforementioned celebrities are not implicated in the case, potential jurors were asked whether they knew any of the individuals listed and whether that would impact their ability to remain impartial. According to the outlet, attorneys did not provide an explanation for the list. The names of women who have taken legal action against Combs were also included, such as his ex-girlfriend Cassie Ventura, whose November 2023 sexual abuse lawsuit against the rapper was settled just one day after it was filed. Donity Kane alum Don Richard, who accused Combs of sexual assault in a lawsuit filed in September, was also listed. Combs has denied any wrongdoing in both cases. As Diddy's trial progresses, several key witnesses and alleged victims have reportedly gone missing. And according to sources close to Diddy, this is only the beginning.
And whenever these trials come about, the closer you get to the trial date, a lot of things start happening to remove people from the case that are going to strengthen the case for the prosecution. And I feel like we're watching that take place now with one of the male sex worker guys who provided tapes to the feds. He's disappeared. And this is similar to what happened in the Tory Lanez case, where the bodyguard whose DNA was on the weapon, he disappeared. So I expect to see a lot of strange things take place. I expect to see the defense team do a lot of steps to lighten the image of Combs, and we've been watching that take place.
From what you know about him, Sean Combs, obviously the perception of him has changed dramatically since these allegations were made and since he got charged. I mean, from everything we're seeing now, he seems a very unpleasant, nasty, violent piece of work. Is that a correct assessment?
The assessment is going to be correct. So what I've learned is whenever you see a gentleman like this from affluence and power, whenever they have an addiction to MDA or the drug ecstasy, they call it the love drug. So he's been doing this drug for over 20 years. So that's going to lead his view skewed when it comes to sexual activity. I believe it's helped turn him into a sexual deviant. Well, Pierce, let me ask you a question. From your journalistic perspective, have you ever noticed how in this industry, people untimely meet their demise as soon as somebody else seems like they're having a problem? Have you ever seen that before?
Well, there was, of course, the case of one of his other ex-girlfriends, Kim Porter, who died of pneumonia at a very young age. You just referenced your own situation with pneumonia that you believe was deliberate poisoning. Do you believe that may be what happened to her?
Why are so many people coming down with pneumonia? Why is that happening to everybody? What is that about? Where have you ever seen this many cases of pneumonia associated with one situation? So, you know.
There were rumors.
I'm not saying.
Well, I was going to mention on this that there have been rumors circulating online that Diddy may have poisoned Jamie Foxx, which caused his 2023 hospitalization. In his Netflix show, he compared Combs to the devil in revealing his near-death experience after a brain bleed and stroke. He said, I say this all the time, I saw the tunnel, I didn't see the light. It was hot in that tunnel. I thought, have I gone to the wrong place? I looked up the end of the tunnel and I thought I saw the devil saying, come on, or was that Puffy? I'm effing around, but if that was Puffy at a flaming bottle of Johnson.
Everyone who speaks out against Diddy meets an unfortunate and untimely end. In an episode of Piers Morgan, celebrity bodyguard Big Homie CC said that he was threatened for speaking out against Diddy. And it's not a coincidence that Kim Porter passed away from pneumonia. Horrible things are happening behind the scenes, and this case is only the beginning.
Justin Bieber breaking his silence on the ordeal after months of speculation over their one-time relationship. His rep telling ET, although Justin is not among Sean Combs' victims, there are individuals who were genuinely harmed by him. Shifting focus away from this reality detracts from the justice these victims rightfully deserve. Bieber's questionable connection to Diddy piquing interest online as the rap mogul's indictment for sex trafficking and racketeering charges, which he denies, made headlines. Old clips of the two hanging out while Justin was underage resurfacing.
Let's just go get some girls. Let's go get some girls.
Man after my heart, that's what I'm talking about. We hit him like this, so me and you walking, we hanging out, a little later on the night after the Usher concert.
Yeah. There's also this old Jimmy Kimmel Live segment, adding to fan fears about what might have gone down with Diddy.
Got me a Lamborghini.
That's nice.
I haven't gotten it yet, though.
When is that coming, that Lamborghini? We talked about this last
He
time.
had the Lamborghini for a day or two, and he had access to the house, and he knows better than to be talking about the things that he does with Big Brother Puff on national television.
Well, apparently not.
Some things, everything ain't for everybody.
This all comes as Bieber's followers are worried for him, the singer's erratic social media posts causing concern week after week, the Beliebers asking if what he's seen behind the scenes of the industry.
Justin Bieber is finally breaking his silence on the Diddy situation and trying to distance himself as much as possible from the entire thing. It's a bit shocking how Justin waited almost a year to address the allegations, and he did it right after celebrities started being named. Was all of this part of a plan? Or is Justin up to something?
Because you might not like it. Something is wrong if you don't think that dude groomed that young girl. Took that impressionable young girl who wanted to be a star, who wanted all her dreams that she had to come true, and fed her drugs, fed her pills, fed her alcohol, and fed her mushrooms and things that she never took before to F her mind up, and then put her in a position that she thought that what little that she had, that she didn't want to lose it. If you didn't think that he did something and did that to her, bruh, I gotta say something wrong with you.
Everything that Diddy did is finally coming out into the light now, and things have gotten so bad that Diddy's lawyers are now resorting to telling the jury that they know what Diddy did is impossible to excuse and that he's violent.
Now, here's Fox. Go ahead, Rob.
What jurors heard today were tales of appalling physical abuse by Sean Combs as prosecutors portrayed him as a monster who controlled people and plied them with drugs, threats, money, brandishing guns during these on-camera sexual performances that he liked to call freak-offs. And in fact, jurors were shown for the first time today that horrifying videotape. Combs brutally beating and dragging his then-girlfriend. And then a male escort took the witness stand, and he talked about how he saw firsthand that same young woman repeatedly battered by the defendant, who then tried to bribe a hotel security guard with a stack of cash to get rid of the evidence. In opening statements, what struck me was how the defense attorney openly admitted that her client committed domestic violence, but then tried to argue, well, that's not sex trafficking for which he's charged. Technically, yes, but it is an underlying crime in the racketeering case against him, which includes kidnapping, arson, sex crimes, bribery, obstruction, all part of this alleged criminal enterprise run by Sean Combs. His attorney also admitted to the jury that her client's conduct is, quote unquote, indefensible, and that he may be a sexual deviant, but that doesn't make him a criminal, which strikes me as not a terribly great
One of the members of Donity Kane, Don Richard, a band that Diddy set up, also testified in the trial. According to her, she witnessed firsthand how violent Diddy can be. Richard is suing Diddy for sexual harassment and was called to testify on the stand just a few days ago. She witnessed abuse and testified that Diddy was controlling multiple artists who worked for him. Richard joined Combs' group, Diddy Dirty Money, after Donady Kane disbanded. While on the stand, she told jurors that she saw Combs hit Ventura with a skillet full of eggs at his Los Angeles home in 2009. Richard added, "I was scared for her. I was scared to do anything." Richard's testimony in Combs' ongoing trial comes 8 months after she accused the rapper in a lawsuit of subjecting her to years of inhumane working conditions, which included groping, assault, and false imprisonment. The lawsuit, filed in September and obtained by E! News, stated that Mr. Combs frequently held meetings with Ms. Richard while wearing only his underwear, despite Ms. Richard's protests and repeated requests for him to put on clothing. In her filing, the 41-year-old also alleged that Combs ordered her to strip down to her underwear, made demeaning remarks about her body, entered her dressing room unannounced while she was unclothed, and touched her without her permission, under the guise of showing the stylist what to do.
Defense.
Even on the day of his arrest, at a time when, according to Diddy's lawyers, he knew that he was going to be arrested and had moved to New York to surrender, Diddy was still engaging in freak-offs. At the time of his arrest, officers found Diddy in a hotel room with $9,000 in cash and several bags full of baby oil and Astroglide. On the 5th day of the trial, Homeland Security Officer Special Agent Yasin Binda took the stand as well, telling the court about the cash, drugs, and baby oil that were seized from the rapper's hotel room.
Everything that Diddy did is finally coming out into the light now, and things have gotten so bad that Diddy's lawyers are now resorting to telling the jury that they know what Diddy did is impossible to excuse, and that he's violent.
Find them on the 6051 form. What was found in the closet? They then show a picture to the jury, and it was plastic bags full of Johnson & Johnson baby oil and Astroglide bottles. And you're telling me Diddy is still doing this, knowing that they have already raided his house, knowing that they are about to blow down on him? What was found in the bathroom? Several bottles of baby oil, and they show that picture to the jury. Now the bedroom. What was found in the Louis Vuitton bag? Medication in the name of Frank Black. That is the name that Cassie Ventura said Diddy used as an alias. And what was the medicine? Bags of pink powder found in the medicine bottles. And then they showed a picture to the jury of it being found and tested by Customs and Border Patrol. Reading from the slip where they tested it from, the pink powder was found to be K and MA in the bottle. And then they actually passed around the physical evidence to the jury. What was found in the black mini backpack? $9,000.
Even on the day of his arrest, at a time when, according to Diddy's lawyers, he knew that he was going to be arrested and had moved to New York to surrender, Diddy was still engaging in freak-offs. At the time of his arrest, officers found Diddy in a hotel room with $9,000 in cash and several bags full of baby oil and Astroglide. On the 5th day of the trial, Homeland Security Officer Special Agent Yasin Binda took the stand as well, telling the court about the cash, drugs, and baby oil that were seized from the rapper's hotel room.
And Ross, which they good buddies, okay? They're gay.
Who?
Both. Diddy and Ross. And Khaled. They're all gay, okay?
DJ Khaled, Rick Ross, and P. Diddy?
Yeah.
They're all gay?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Khaled is a Hamas supporter. Okay?
Who supporter?
Hamas.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Sorry, I said it wrong.
No worries.
Hamas supporter, okay?
Right.
I had sex with Cassie and Sean. Basically, he would masturbate and tell me what to do with Cassie. I had like 15 encounters, and I heard a lot.
Hidden in plain sight.
It's hidden.
I think I see what you're saying.
Okay, how do I know this?
Yeah, that's what I want to know. How do you know this?
Do you know Sean Combs?
We made love.
Who you made love with?
Diddy, Bow Wow, Busta Rhymes.
You just told me you seen Busta in the airport too. That motherfucker tried to act like he didn't know you. You smashed Drake?
No, I never smashed.
Oh, you made love to Drake.
And Cat Williams. What's his name?
Bro, you smashing a lot of people.
What's the name? Terrence Howard.
Terrence Howard.
Terrence Howard. Usher. Usher's a gusher. And
Watch as Cat Williams calls out Bishop T.D. Jakes, and watch as T.D. Jakes and Gino Jennings responds.
I came in this business saying I was going to expose. When I talked about Michael Jackson, when I talked about R. Kelly, they canceled me for these things because why would you talk about another black dude? Race is not where the line is drawn. It's God's side and the other side. And we don't care nothing about the other side. Period. Period. All of these big dick deviants is all catching hell in 2024. It's up for all of them. It don't matter if you Diddy or whoever you is. T.G. Jakes, any of them. All lies will be exposed. That's all. And anyone who takes that the wrong way, know why they take it the wrong way.
Good. I'm good. I'm fine. I'm good because I know the truth.
T.D. Jakes, do not speak against homosexuality.
Diddy's lawyers are using their same old tricks. They wanted to make this case an issue about race and how Diddy was being targeted just because he was black. This defense, however, came crashing down once people started to hear about just what Diddy had been doing behind closed doors.
His lawyer, Mark Agnifilo, made it very clear that race is going to be front and center.
Let's switch our focus to the governor. In my opinion, I'm just going to say it the way it is. No friend historically of the successful black man, okay? None. And they start making this case, in my opinion, as a takedown of a successful black man. Here's a man who has made some of the most important businesses owned by a black man. Run, owned, created, founded. The vision was that of a black man. What have we done? We have reduced him, not everyone, but a large amount of our society, to being a monster. That should make us shake in our boots.
So, Mark Agnifilo, obviously white.
Yes.
The co-counsel is Tenny Garrigus, white. And Mark Garrigus, her dad, who we're told is going to play a significant part in this case, white.
Well, and let's remember, you're going to have at least one witness and probably a parade of witnesses of black females who are going to claim they were victimized by Diddy. And so in order to give sort of a human face to that, maybe suggest that that's not the case, it makes a lot of sense. I mean, the jury is finding cues in every piece of evidence, but also who's representing him. And if they just have a bunch of white folks sort of defending him, all those black female alleged victims maybe going to look like they're being targeted by his high-priced legal team.
Several big-name celebrities are allegedly worried. Justin Bieber isn't the first to publicly distance himself from Diddy in the face of this trial. Will Smith and Dallas pastor T.D. Jakes have both stepped away from the public eye and tried to escape the recent drama. They know that their names are going to be brought up once the tapes are played in court. None of this is new. Diddy's alleged sex slave, Jonathan Audi, revealed all of this back in 2018. But back then, no one believed him. He told officers that Diddy was pimping Cassie out to other men and engaging in freak-offs. At the time, everyone thought he was just crazy. Interestingly, this is the same thing that Orlando Brown said. Everyone who used to mention Diddy was labeled as crazy and blackballed by the industry.
First witness to testify was Officer Israel Flores. He was the security officer back in 2016 when we saw that now infamous recording of Sean Combs allegedly beating Cassie Ventura in that hotel hallway. We heard from him. We watched the video in its entirety from multiple angles in order to see exactly what unfolded. And as we watch this video, I want to say, by the way, everything we're about to talk about during this live shot could be perceived as disturbing material. So just want to give our viewers a little bit of a warning here. Watching Sean Combs kick and drag and grab Cassie Ventura by her neck and by her hair over and over again. And then at one point, Cassie walks over to a phone that's in this lobby, lobby area of their 6th floor hotel room, and she calls for this instant services, and a security guard comes up, and at that point he's able to separate them, and he walks them down the hallway towards the hotel room where they were. Cassie apparently telling the security officer that she just wants to leave, and Sean Combs reportedly telling her that she's not going to leave. And when they opened the door to that hotel room, there was another man, according to this officer, sitting in the hotel.
Diddy's lawyers are using their same old tricks. They wanted to make this case an issue about race and how Diddy was being targeted just because he was black. This defense, however, came crashing down once people started to hear about just what Diddy had been doing behind closed doors.
My whole thing about it is that Puff wasn't right what he did to people around us, man. He wasn't right what he did to people around us. Him being hard-headed, not listening, and not telling the truth and constantly lying cost a lot of people their lives, man. It cost a lot of people their lives. I want him to understand. When I told him, if we don't do something to these doors, people gonna die tonight. And forget, and I wanna say F what other people say, everybody know I told him that. Our whole crew know I told him that. From Slick to Nord, Bunny, Big Boy, Eddie, all the people that was with us that night know I told them that. 9 people end up dead.
Cassie Ventura just named Christina Quorm as keeping tabs on her for Diddy. Cassie Ventura is giving her testimony against Diddy right now in his trial, and she just name-dropped Diddy's ex-chief of staff, Christina Quorm. Cassie Ventura started her testimony about her early relationship with Diddy, and she even admitted at the very beginning she took E without knowing because it was in a Gatorade bottle. Then she went on to describe the abuse that would start happening to her and how Diddy would keep tabs on her. The government asked Cassie Ventura, how did Diddy keep tabs on you? And she said, we didn't live far apart. He'd send security to come find me or a trusted assistant. Like who? David James or Christina Quorm. And we know that Diddy's ex-chief of staff, Christina Quorm, has been named in multiple civil lawsuits with Diddy. So the fact that Cassie Ventura just listed her literally sent chills all the way up my spine. Because back in 2018 and prior, during Cassie and Diddy's relationship, I didn't even know if Christina Quorm at this time would have any part in any of this. Cassie Ventura points out at this time, Christina Quorm was only an assistant for Diddy. She wasn't even Diddy's chief of staff during this time. And I already know that this will not be the last that we hear about Christina Quorm. I just didn't know it was happening this early on. Diddy's ex-assistant, Philip Pines, who was on the fall for Diddy, admitted that he testified to the grand jury against Diddy, and he showed us so many pieces of evidence in his documentary interview. He showed text messages between him and Christina Quorm of Christina Quorm asking for all of these different freak-offs.
Diddy was paying people off to cover up his crimes. An LAPD officer who used to work at the hotel where Diddy would conduct his freak-offs testified that Diddy offered him a huge wad of cash to stay quiet about what he saw. This security guard had video footage of what happened at the freak-off, and that video is now being used to convict Diddy.
Selection of a jury in the Sean Diddy Combs case almost complete. Prosecutors are preparing for opening arguments on Monday, but they admit there's a snag. One of their key witnesses against the rapper appears to have gone missing. This comes as we learn that Combs' ex-girlfriend, who was seen on video being assaulted by the rapper, is pregnant. Here's Les Trent.
Is a key witness in the Sean Diddy Combs trial backing out? Victim number 3, as she's called, was set to testify against the music mogul. The name of victim number 3 was going to be revealed when she took the stand, but the woman has apparently gone missing, and prosecutors say they've been unable to reach her.
People just get nervous, and this person could just be nervous and just has had second thoughts.
If the prosecutor can't find this witness, how might it affect the case?
Look, I don't think it's going to have a tremendous effect. The prosecution is going to call a number of alleged victims. So look, this is just one less.
Someone else is also getting cold feet. A juror sent an email to the judge asking to be removed from the panel for issues of personal well-being.
Diddy's ex-bodyguard, Gene Deal, talked about this too. He said that Diddy allegedly called him 58 times, trying to ask him to shut up and telling him that enough is enough. Diddy was using sources close to him to get in contact with Gene. Diddy's chief of staff, Christina Courtroom, and his guards would report to Diddy what everyone was doing, and then Diddy would use them to make people disappear. All of this is connected to the disappearance of the victim. 3 days before the witnesses were scheduled to testify, a key member of the prosecution went missing. She still hasn't been found. Are we really supposed to believe that all of this is just a coincidence? This witness was prepared to testify under her own name, knowing that Diddy could come after her. And now it looks like that's exactly what happened.
Particular Netflix docuseries that you've been working on, Diddy Do It.
Right.
You've been saying for years that you feel you knew Diddy's character.
Right.
Yet you said you weren't a part of that lifestyle, you weren't going to the parties. So what makes you so absolutely sure that these kinds of allegations that we've seen against him are true?
Well, I'm surprised by the allegations, as surprised as everyone else is. Like, I didn't make the allegations. I didn't tell people to say these things. It comes out, I see it in the news like everyone else. But I did feel uncomfortable with the way he would present the idea of going to these projects.
To come party with me.
Yeah. And then that swayed me away from it, just that alone.
So you didn't realize the...
As much stuff has come, like when I seen today, it was allegations of 3 men that said he drugged them and it's a long time, to be honest with you. Like, when people don't remember being violated for 20 years, it makes me feel a little odd.
What are your thoughts on the allegations against Jay-Z?
That was interesting. When I was saying things, not knowing exactly what I was saying, but I was going, where's Jay at? He's mad quiet. Like while the Puffy thing was going on. But it's obvious now that his team was being made aware that he was in those allegations also. You know, so I hope it works out, because with his family, the things that go on internally, is those accusations are...
50 Cent has been one of the only names that has always been vocal about Diddy. In his upcoming Netflix docuseries, Did He Do It?, set to release in early 2025, 50 allegedly reveals exclusive details about Diddy. According to reports, Diddy is working with Kanye to try to file cease and desist orders to stop it.
Discussed this morning, will the public, will the media be able to see video of these freak-offs? During opening statements, we heard that the jurors are going to be able to see video of these freak-offs. These are the sexual encounters between, for instance, Cassie Ventura, as well as another woman, Jane, and male escorts, as well as Sean Diddy Combs. But there's an argument that only the jurors will be able to see these. So we'll have to see what happens. The judge is taking that under advisement. Right now, what's taking place is the continuation of the cross-examination of a man by the name of Daniel Phillip. Julie, he is the male stripper that was hired by, he said, Cassie to engage in sexual...
Judge Arun Subramanian has confirmed that Diddy's freak-off tapes will be played in court, but they won't be shown to the public or the reporters since it violates the privacy of the victims. I'm not seeing any case that would suggest in any way, shape, or form that images or videos of these types of acts that are alleged to be sexual would be required to be shown in open court when they pose the obvious risk of re-victimization, he said. From missing witnesses to explosive courtroom revelations, this trial is turning into the biggest scandal hip-hop has ever seen. And with 50 Cent's docuseries on the way, it's only going to get messy, eh? Make sure you like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you don't miss our next deep dive, because if you think this is wild, wait until you see what's coming next. This story isn't over. Not by a long shot.